are here with Jordan from Sunbearer. If you don't know them, they're a killer fucking North Carolina band focused on doom. Doom. Jordan, appreciate you coming to hang out with me tonight.
Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely. I'm stoked to be here.
Hell yeah. So what do you guys got going on right now?
Right now we got a lot. I'll be honest. I kind of went for it at the beginning of the year just because we're fairly new. Um, and I booked a million things. I don't think we have a free month until December, maybe. I'd have to double check. But yeah, doing that and trying to put together a couple festivals. Hush Hush, can't talk about it yet. And then we're starting on the EP here soon. Uh, just had the second single come out, and we're still rolling with that. We got a lot going on. It's good. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I think we all
Hell,
are.
that's good. That's
Yeah,
good. Now you guys were at Legalize Lex, right?
yeah, that was fun.
That
That
was
was
a
really, really fun.
yeah, that was a great fucking bill.
Oh my God, dude, we didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, like Braun and the guys in Crop are awesome, and they're homies. So we knew it was going to be cool. But I think even Braun was like, "Whoa, this turned out way bigger than I ever thought it could have." It was really sweet to see um, the kind of the regional scene come together. I mean, one thing about this band that really inspired me to start this band is that uh, there's not a lot of people coming together in the South. In a way that they were out west. I lived in Denver for a really long time,
Okay.
and it's just kind of like you can't really book a show unless you really got your shit together. You know what I mean? Um, but um, there's a lot going on here, and it just takes people getting together and choosing that community, giving it exposure. Because we've got an incredible scene here, man. Just
Yeah.
generally speaking, for heavy music, it's one of the best in the country, in my opinion. Um, I think that was a good example of that, you know, because lo and behold, we had all these phenomenal bands here that showed up and killed it, and there was a lot of really awesome community. And I don't know, man, like how many people do you think were there all day? Like, there's probably like 500 people, if not more. But
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know. I'd be afraid to comment on the number, but I know that early on, I was really impressed with the amount of people that showed up. Uh, like I got there, of course, a little bit early to get my shit kind of in order, but then
yeah,
I was like, doors open, in comes a crowd. I'm like, holy fuck!
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. It's cool. It's really exciting, man, because I also think it's happening. It's like the calm before the storm, you know?
yeah,
And some people have been here forever, like obviously, the guys in Weed Eater and Down, and all those guys have known one another for a long time, and they're still in it, you know.
yeah,
Um, but people forget about bands like Sour Vein, that have been around for a long time too, and kind of what that has blossomed into, like those cats are 10, 20 years older than everybody else in the scene, and like that's kind of what we picked up on. Like that's what my older brother was into,
yeah.
and my uncle was into, and it's rubbing off, man. And I think people need to get ready. Like Stoner Doom's not in the past, and it's changed a lot, and I think it's gonna become more innovative than it's ever been. It is currently.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's really cool to kind of sit here and watch it and be a part of it.
Yeah,
So
it's really cool to really dig into a lot of the bands. I'm gonna say newer bands, right, that haven't really got out there a lot like you guys. It's a really good
yeah,
fucking sound. The the band as a whole super tight, and it sounds fresh. It doesn't sound old and rehashed and just, but there's so much of that out there, especially in like the doom vein, that
yeah,
it's fucking mind blowing.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, dude. The people are putting their own spin on it. Like like Fairy Ring kind of has their own take on it. Like they're
Yeah.
really influenced by indie rock and shows, and shoegaze. I am too. I'm a huge fan of Slow Dive and Hum and Centaur and Starflyer 59 and like bands that have an ethereal element.
Hmm.
Um, and even that's kind of peeking its head through people's influence, which I think is super cool personally. Um, I don't, I don't know. There's not everybody's a copycat band right now in the scene, and it's
Right.
refreshing.
It is. It's really refreshing, especially, like Fairy Ring is, dude, they're so fucking good.
Dude, they're awesome.
Like, holy shit. I love,
Yeah.
first time I saw them, I think it was with Paul Bear
Oh, nice.
just last year. And I was like, oh my God,
Hmm.
you guys are fucking great.
They're great. you know. And I don't think that I think that those cats are like, and I don't know what they would say, but they don't feel like they're strictly doom heads, which
Mm-mm.
I personally like because I would say I'm the same way. I don't just listen to doom. I listen to a lot of different genres of music. And
Yeah.
when I lived in Denver, I did session work a lot. And I played a lot of indie rock and played a lot of honky tonk and really, really influenced by just modern music, generally speaking. And it's cool to see that manifest through uh, this genre of music and this scene. Like Period Sex was really, really, really cool. A bass and drums. That's it. Like they were like a Doom Royal Blood kind of. It was
Yeah.
sweet. It was, not everybody's just saying we are going to be sleep. Not that I hate non sleep. I love sleep, but
Right.
you know,
Well, but it's nice, right? Like it's nice to have everything kind of under a general umbrella, but
mhm.
everything have its own flavor, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's cool.
I'm a big fan of spotlights.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like, what am I listening to right now? There's a band called Faytooth. It's an all-girl band. They're younger. They've got a really cool take on the genre. Um, and they even dig into like and they might not intend to. They seem like they're in their early 20s, like teens, early 20s maybe, but like they're like even letting themselves be influenced by like new metal, but like the cooler side of new metal when that was big, like almost like they have like a coal chamber sound
Okay.
sometimes too, you know what I mean? Um at least I can hear a little bit out of it. It's like a coal chambery Chelsea Wolf kind of thing. It's really cool. But I love it when bands do that.
Yeah.
It's
Y-
inspiring.
Yeah, it's nice to see a band do something that not anyone else has done,
Yeah.
and not just do it, but do it well.
Hmm.
It's always like, fuck yeah, I can get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I think that's all. There's a lot of that floating around in the stoner doom world right now. I do think that the music industry is kind of still cutting it short. They underestimate like what's going on in the genre. We're kind of seen as like a redheaded stepchild of you know um of the metal universe a lot of the time, which I feel like on an industry level they need to like kind of be careful with some of that kind of stuff because that's where your next big things kind of come from.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you get bands that change the game. Like, I mean, that's what happened with Nirvana. It's what happened with grunge. Those bands couldn't get shows really in the 80s, not like the hair metal bands could, you know.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, everybody's playing in drop D and playing a shitty fuzz pedal and wearing plaid, and it's just,
Yeah, but I think the industry, as much as they try to like hone and keep hold of what they
mhm.
feel is the next big thing, the fantastic thing is like the underground scene really fucking creates it. It's what,
Yeah.
something that I've always been drawn to is like
Mhm.
that's this is the forefront is not what's out there on the fucking radio.
Mhm.
They're not
Mhm.
out there creating the innovative shit usually, right? It
Mhm.
it comes from the underground bands who are like, We got nothing to lose. Let's play what we want to fucking hear.
Exactly. Exactly. You know. Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm doing. I mean, I um tried for a long time to pull a um an Al Jorgensen and conform until I was just like, no, I don't like this, and I like that, and that's what I'm gonna play, you know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, Ministry was blowing up when he stopped trying to be in a new wave band, you know. Like that's um that's what Sunbearer is about for sure. Um, and you don't know how that stuff's gonna manifest either because it's weird. Because like a lot of the times you have a sound in your head or you're like, oh, I really like, because you know that's how we pull influences. We'll say, I like that riff, that's really cool, whatever, this other huge band, whatever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come out that way when you try to do that. um uh and I don't know, I think like that's just even more a testament, like giving into the process and being honest and just playing what you play and maybe not overthinking it, you know.
Well, and that's, I think when a band is genuine with themselves, that's when the music really evolves
Mm-hmm.
and people you go out to perform and people see it and they're like, "Oh man, I dig it," right? Because they
Yeah.
just like the band is connecting with the music, the fans are connecting with the music as well, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like that's the beauty of for me live music.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But there was a lot of that going on at Legalize Lex, and it was really, really cool. And I'm trying, I think, well, I think everybody in the scene, not just me, here in Asheville are trying to cultivate that here as well, or more so, I guess, like connect the dots, you know,
Mhm.
because like when I think of like what it means to be in a regional scene, don't think it in my mind it's not specific to the state that you're in. It's like North
Right.
Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, you know, like our region. And we all interconnect. Um, and I think that Asheville is a place that has a really healthy environment for people to showcase that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. And we kind of have our own thing going on in the city. It's a weird town, man. Like I mean, like look at that, like esotericism. Ugh, you know, I mean, be honest with you, jokes aside, yeah, that's what I write about a lot of the time. It's
Hmm.
esotericism and spiritualism and God and you know uh, politics or whatever. But like that's kind of like an identity in Nashville in a lot of ways. If you ever spent much time around this scene or much time around like just you know the venues here, there's a lot of people like that. Just generally speaking, no
Yeah.
matter what genre, it's kind of like part of the vibe. So I do think that that's um, kind of cool and unique thing about our city. But like it's ripe for those regionals to come and participate. You know,
Well,
um,
like I think the Carolinas are in a really good spot because it's right on the cusp of like the southeast and the northeast regions. So
mhm.
there's a lot of crossover from both of those, which I
Yeah.
mean, from a fan's perspective, I feel like it would be a great place to really find a lot of new bands.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's also easier to tour.
Yeah.
Way easier. Touring out west is awful. It's so hard. You waste so much gas money, man.
Yeah, everything's so far away out there.
Oh my God, it's wild. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
no, like I'm glad to be home. I mean, like I grew up in Northwest Georgia, and um, I grew up in this culture, and I didn't realize like how uh, deeply a part of me it was, you know, because like when you're a teenager, you're like, I want to go do something cool, and I wanted to like live in LA or some shit, you know, and I
Yeah.
ended up moving to Denver out of the house, and but I'm glad to be back home. Like I feel like more me than I kind of ever have in a weird way, and I feel way more connected to this land. Like and dude, like even like every time it rains, I'm like, oh well, I'll never leave this because we don't get rain out west like that. You know how green it is, the folklore, you
Yeah.
know, the spiritualism, just being Appalachian. That's what it means to be Appalachian. I mean, like everybody's mom's got a Bigfoot story or a, you know, like a Dogman story or a some weird Cherokee folk tale floating around their family, or like it's just part of culture, and I really missed it. Um, so I'm glad to be back. And
How long were you in Denver?
dude, I was there 10 years, and it was really cool. Like I miss Colorado, and honestly, like as far as like Doom goes, and or just all things kind of dark and fuzzy, Denver's got a pretty dang cool scene. Like Green Druid, they're out there. They're a great band. Astronaut are out there. They're
Yeah.
a great band. Um, but it's definitely not like as cultural. It doesn't feel that way out there. Like here, it's like, the reason our metal sounds like that is because, blues, the bluegrass, honky tonk, Appalachian folk music. Duh. Of course that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, it taught me how to be a man of the world, and it did teach me how to work really, really, really hard in a band to get to where you want to go. You can't sit on your ass in a city that big and get a show, let alone good shows, and you got to play the game, you
Yeah.
know, which is not the fun part, but it's part of it.
Well, I think it's all in how you look at it, right? Because you can turn that
Yeah,
into a game, right, amongst the band, and hey, I'm gonna one up you and go do this and make it just a
yeah,
little bit better, right? Shit like that.
yeah.
But that's, I think a lot of younger bands don't realize how much work it is to be in a
Mhm.
band and to
Yeah,
actually do something.
I do. Like this shit is like work, dude. It's hard.
Yeah.
And that's how you discover really quickly who actually wants to do this shit is, you know, as soon as you get like 10 shows a year and it's pretty early in the year, and then all of a sudden you're on tour, and then all of a sudden you're recording, and then all of a sudden you're doing interviews, and then all of a sudden you're, spending money, and then all of a sudden like there's so many things that you have to do in this world to being a successful band. It's not easy being gone all the time. It's hard on your relationships. Like it's not for the faint of heart. And it's hard to get success, man. And that's just part of the game. This is a hard, I guess we call it a business. It feels
It is.
like a weird social experiment sometimes, but yeah, you feel me.
Yeah, well, it does, but it is 100% a business,
Yeah.
especially when you're a band, because you you can go and work another job and put all your money into it, but
Mm-hmm.
there comes a point if you're not getting anything in return, and I don't say that meaning just necessarily money, but if you're not getting that fulfillment back, there's going to
Yeah.
be a stopping point, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And that is why it's important. You got to play what you love, and you've got to be honest with yourself, and you have to be um sure you want to be in a band with certain people. You got to be sure
Mhm.
you want to go on the road with certain people. If you don't do that, and people don't think about that, they're like, wow, I never thought I would be in a scenario where I was like, I wish I'd never started a band with this person, you know?
Yeah,
And but people don't think about that. And that's part of how it can be hard. You have to get along. You have to make sacrifices. You have to communicate. It's like being married. And, you know, how many Kiss interviews are out there of them saying a band's like a marriage, man? Like it is.
it's the
It's,
truth.
it's the
It's
truth.
Yeah, you're in a relationship, and then that relationship, you get in a car for a couple of weeks, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh God.
Yep. Yep.
So what got you into playing music initially?
Oh, that's a deep question. Well, it runs in my family. Um, let's see, my mom played piano and sing, and then my grandmother played piano and sang, and then my dad plays like four instruments, and then my uncle was the metal guy. He kind of shoved me down metal rabbit hole. And then my older brother and uncle were in a band together. My brother was a screamer and singer, metal vocalist, songwriter. I mean, like it just kind of it's in the blood, on both sides. And I was always around it. And like my earliest memories were me and my brother sitting in the living room while my dad would play Fox on the Run and John Denver covers, and, like entertain us before bed. And that's always like it's just always stuck with me. And when I got my first instrument was uh, a keyboard, and I think I was maybe 7 or 8, and I started like learning like mom songs by ear, and my mom noticed it. And I was really like a real weird kid, like super introverted, really into like just like dark shit. But like, I was like 8. So my mom was just like trying to give me an outlet. So she got me an electric guitar, and I think I was maybe 10 or 11. And then the rest is kind of history. I mean, I it's been my life since I was a little kid,
Hell
kind
yeah.
of took over everything. Um,
What were
but
some
yeah,
of
man,
the like early metal bands that you listened to?
early metal bands are stereotypes, and I hate it when people talk shit about gateway bands. Because at one point they weren't a gateway band; they were a scene band. Anyways,
Right.
but the first 3 Metallica records changed my life. I had Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning on rotation. That's like all I would listen to all day
Yeah.
when I was like 13 to 17. Um, that was a big one for me. Let's see. I mean, Slayer, Rain and Blood, great record. I just still love Slayer.
Me too.
And like, yeah, Black Sabbath, huge, still huge. Obviously, it's kind of the cornerstone of what we do.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Napalm Death, Leaders Not Followers. I'm wearing a Napalm shirt right now. And Tool was up there for me. They were really, really, really big for me. Lateralis kind of opened opened my mind a lot on what a heavy band could be.
Yeah.
And
They really, Tool, I think, really changed the landscape with heavy music.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't even think that they were really trying to be a heavy band at all. I don't think that I think that happened just because Maynard met Adam. That's just kind of how it ended up sounding,
Yeah.
because if you listen to a lot of what he was trying to be, like in the late 80s or whatever, it was like, oh, that just sounds like Maynard over a really weird 80s band. And then all of a sudden, in the 90s roll around, he develops a relationship with Adam, and then everything kind of changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that they were even like shooting for that. I think that they were that's just organically what happened,
Yeah.
which is cool. That's how it should be,
Absolutely.
you know.
That
But
was,
yeah,
I think I remember my introduction into Tool, and I was just like I was so blown away because it was Sober. I mean, when Sober hit,
yeah,
I was just like, holy fuck. I can't believe this even exists.
hmm,
And to see them evolve, with every album, it's like even Fear Inoculum is like, God, that's fucking weird, but so good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Maynard was quoted. Like I was reading an interview recently, I forgot where, but like they were asking him like where he got his vocal style. He's like, dude, I just can't sing straight. I can't sing a straight rhythm. That's just how I sing. And that's so fascinating to me because that's not typically how somebody would keep time, because like what you naturally gravitate towards your cadence with that get, like what your cadence becomes is kind of like you trying to keep time in a weird way. And I'm like, why would you do that? You wouldn't. It doesn't make sense, but it makes it so unique. And yeah, I mean, it's so cool
Yeah.
that just like kind of organically happened.
Yeah, that's, I've kind of got that feeling with Paul from Restless Spirit and his vocals,
Mhm.
the way he sings. Everything is so his vocals are so fucking hooky, you're
Yeah,
just like, Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Like it's so fucking good.
yeah.
So you guys are working on a new EP. How much
Mhm.
of it is recorded so far?
Nothing is recorded. I am so we worked with Wormwood Studios. That's a studio in town. My friend Dave Kaminsky, he owns the studio. And just from working with Dave, I felt inspired to build a studio in my house, and I'm currently doing that. And so that's how we're gonna do it. Punk rock it, but not punk rock it. I mean, it's definitely gonna be like well done. We will put in the work, and when it comes out, it'll be um a nice piece of art. Um, but yeah, as far as songs, I think we have like 6 or 7 right now completed, but we've got like the same amount shelved, almost completed. We've almost got one new one. We just got a new guitarist, a second guitar player, my friend Brandon, and he is similar to me, but he's also very different than me, and I really like kind of what we're coming up with. Um, he's more of a floaty doom guitar player. I'm very straightforward. Like I'm super influenced by Just Osborne and Electric Wizard and you know Acid King and stuff like that. He's different. He's more like Paul Bearer-y and kind of all over the place, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
yeah, man.
new pallbearers, like what I've heard of it. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but
I haven't either.
it's a little different.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. I've heard like a couple of snippets here and there, but I haven't
Yeah.
done a deep dive yet.
Yeah, me neither. And I'm like, I'm just waiting for a good time to really dig into it. I'm interested. What I've heard, I like that it's different. It still sounds
Mhm.
like Paul Bear, but I'm
Yeah,
like, all right, I gotta maybe ease myself into it.
yeah. I get why they would uh progress, and I think um I think it just has to do with their identity partly. They are really more of a prog band than they are like a doom band,
Agreed.
in a lot of ways. I think that's natural for them. That makes sense to me. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
So, you've got a bunch of shows coming up.
mhm.
What's the next show you guys got?
Next show is we're playing at Lily's this Thursday in Boone, the 13th. We're playing a festival called Doomerang with Empire, Appalachitari, Bongfoots, and they threw another band on. I forgot what they were called because we either had to, they couldn't make it because they're doing the War thing.
Hmm.
Um, I'd have to, I'd have to look them up, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, man, that's our next one, and yeah, a couple of other really cool things coming up after that.
What do you got coming up after that?
I uh am not allowed to talk about it yet, but it's
Ah,
really cool. It's one of those. Yeah.
like
Uh,
shit.
yeah, I want to, but my hands are tied.
When does it get announced?
I don't know. And that's probably part of it. Soon, very soon, probably a day or two from now would be my best guess. But
Today's
it's what happens when you don't run the show. You know what I mean?
well, so this will come out Friday.
It will.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool. Well, I mean, I'm not in trouble because I didn't say the wrong thing, so it doesn't matter.
Damn, damn.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I'm I'm always trying, like, come on, just a little bit more information.
yeah. I think yeah, people they're gonna be excited. I'm
Right on.
excited. So it's gonna be
So,
cool.
is everything you guys doing just like local stuff, or do you guys have regional stuff you're playing?
No. Let's see. We're playing Raleigh with Calgon, and we're playing Winston-Salem also with Calgon. So Brandon from Calgon is a good friend of mine. I don't know if you know them. They are
Mm-mm.
great band here, and they're really solid dudes. Shout out. Hell yeah. Go
Hell
listen
yeah.
to Calgon.
Calgon, take
um,
me away.
yeah, Calgon take everybody away. Um, and then what else we got coming up out of town? I'd have to look it up, man. I just kind of like and just booking like a crazy person. It's all on my calendar and I forget. You know how that goes.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, no,
I always I have to double check my calendar when I wake up in the morning, like what's going on today?
yeah, yes, yeah.
So
Tell me
building your
about it.
studio,
Hmm.
how far into that are you?
We're pretty much there for what we need for the necessaries. We've just got to get together, really. Um, I mean, me and um the guy I'm putting it together with, we've talked about like putting up walls and putting in like you know, ma building like an actual booth. But we don't. I don't know if it's necessary quite yet. We're gonna see how it sounds with what we got, but we've got a lot of really nice equipment. Um, um,
What are you guys
so
using to record with?
um, you'd have to ask him. I'm more so the. I can show you the board. It's a Tascam Model 24 that he's gonna rewire with some Neef parts, which is pretty cool. And I think my monitors are Yamaha HD8s. And I've got a warm audio compressor, and then he's got a bunch of like bougie mics and computer setup and a couple of other things, preamps and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, because
So
recording is so different, like
yeah.
um back in the 90s, it was God, I guess when I started recording, I was probably early 90s, like 93, 94, and it was
Okay.
you're getting your Tascam recording to tape, and like since then it's really evolved and you can literally download whatever
Mm-hmm.
program to your freaking computer and it can sound like you in a big room. We can make it a big room or a small room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh
fun.
yeah, absolutely. I will say that like I've mostly done like natural style traditional recording.
Hmm.
And I think that there's definitely something to that. Yeah, plugins are cool. There's a lot you can do with technology nowadays, but I I still think that there's a touch of a difference, even if you're gonna do that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of options for sure. But like even like you know, like the plugins for amps and heads and stuff, they sound pretty good, but like you can't really, in my mind, you can't truly duplicate the sound of a room. And every room sounds different,
Right.
you know? Um, and mic placement and stuff like that. You can, but I I don't know. I think it comes across more honest when you don't choose to do that. That's just my opinion. A lot of people would really disagree with me, um, but
Like everyone's got their own thing, and
not
that's
the thing, man.
that's the beauty of it, right? Like not everyone
Right,
has to be, I'm going to record to my computer, like
right,
recording natural. That's, if that's what you feel good with, fuck, do it.
right, right. I'm also that's just like what my ear gravitates towards. I think just generally speaking, like that's one of the reasons I liked Acid King and Electric Wizard so much is because they're like they're metal, but they're like also I don't know, they've got this weird um like old blues recording style kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Sabbath, but they're doing it that way. And I don't know. I've always thought that was really, really cool. You
Yeah.
know, I
It's,
like
again, it's a change. It's different than what I think a lot of artists are doing today,
oh
right?
yeah. Yeah, I
Like
don't really like shiny. Like I like shitty on purpose in a good way, if that makes sense.
that does make sense.
Yeah.
That's why I was always drawn to like punk rock.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I think that's a lot of like what I came from too. Like I was So I really like kind of cut my teeth in the punk scene in Atlanta. Um, and like I was just like the guy that was also like a metal guitar player too. So I was like in a bunch of different bands because I was like, oh, they're like he's good at guitar, you know what I mean? But like punk changed everything. Taught me a lot about music and like what possibilities are and what you don't have to do and community and dude, like punks are all about their merch and they're all about their homies and they're all about, you know, you know, the scene, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so but yeah, like punk rock taught me a lot for sure. Yeah. And you're right. Their recordings are raw and really honest. A lot of people don't know how influenced like Stoner Doom is by punk also. Like it's super, super, super influenced by it. It's like it's almost punk in a lot of ways, you know? It's kind
Yeah.
of the start of it.
Well, it's got the same DIY mentality, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it was, I mean, they started the same way. There's some sort of aggression that needs to come out, and then, people are like, "Oh, that's weird. Not sure if we want you to play our show." Like, cool, we'll go play a basement, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna
Right.
make this fucking happen. And now people are like, "Oh, like you're a doom band. You should come, like, play." You're like, "All right, we'll come play your show."
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That's kind of a big part of the Doom identity. And yeah, it rubs off for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the Doom community, right? You fucking talk to anyone in the Doom community and they're like, "Oh, dude, make sure you check out this band because this band is really fucking good." And
yep.
like I like what these guys are doing. Like it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Doom and punk and hardcore and all of that stuff. I think that they kind of are adjacent in a way.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
don't
well,
really.
absolutely. I do think people see it though,
Yeah.
right? Like I guess people who really
And people
look
that love
and
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely notice it. Um,
Yeah.
so what are you like? Is there any new like Doom bands that you're listening to right now?
Um, I don't know. Not really. Um, I've been stuck on Dope Lord and Cough a lot lately, and I've been stuck on the newest Hum record, which is not really Doom. And I guess Faytooth. Faytooth, yeah, I've been stuck on them. They're like a newer band for sure. They're really cool. But yeah, I don't know. As far as that goes,
Have
like
you?
super, 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 super new, that would be the one. Faytooth and I guess Yeti. Telekinetic Yeti are a great band too.
Yep.
I like their sound a lot. But I guess they're the big ones right now that I'm really into. I think
Ha-
I'm just like more into like what's going on in the scene here at
Okay.
the moment, you know.
Have you heard Redwood? They got a new EP out called Dry River.
I listened to a little bit of it. I watched a little bit of one of your more recent episodes and they were on there and I did check it out. And yeah, I like what they're doing. They're really
Yeah.
cool. They're a
Yeah.
cool band.
Yeah.
Um,
That one another like I like he does this I don't know, guitar thing through all the songs to kind of tie them all together, which is nice.
yeah, I should check out more. I will say I do like Astronaut a lot. They're doing some cool stuff. I don't know how new they are though. They're probably a couple years old. They've got to be. They've
Yeah.
been around for a little bit.
They've been
So
around for a little bit, but you know what? There's someone out there that's not heard him yet.
yeah, that's true. That's kind of yeah, yeah, man. But
So
I think
what's the timeline on your like festival?
on the festival that I'm trying to put together currently, it is going to be November is what we're talking about right now. And yeah, I mean, I think 16th, and I'm not going to say where it is because you know how that stuff goes, and I've
Yep.
learned my lesson because I've already tried to do this before, and yeah, I'm just letting you know that I'm trying to do that.
At
You
around
know,
this time.
around this time, I'm trying to put together a thing, and I will say nothing else.
And it's in this general
It's in
area.
this general area. Uh, yeah, yeah, man. When you start doing stuff like that, um, it gets really, really political, really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, man, I want everybody to be happy, and I want the people that end up being involved to be stoked to be there, and I want it to be for the scene, and I want it to be for Asheville, and yeah, I want it to be like a positive thing, and you know how quickly that can go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
that's all you get.
that's cool with me.
Yeah,
I'm sure when you're ready to release it, it'll come out.
yeah, you'll know.
Uh, do you guys want to do like glass bowls for merch or anything like that?
Uh, I right now we're on the train of in the future we're down for most anything, but as of right now, we're gonna stick with what we got because we gotta sell it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're interested in doing stuff like that too. We've got Alex made some um nug jars that are pretty cool. And I think that it's definitely part of our culture for sure. So yeah,
Yeah, a
sure.
little bit.
You know, um, yeah, man.
All right. So what all merch do you guys have right now?
Right now we got four shirts. We've got one that's like an acid wash tie-dye shirt with our old logo on it, a black one with the old logo. We've got a gnarly looking wizard with a green sky that's really cool. That's my personal favorite. And then we've got a white one with the death above um a single art on it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's it for sure. I want to do a long sleeve really, really, really bad. Um, and so we might do that coming up when it cools off. Do like a run like a 30 or something like that,
Yeah.
doing like a something cool like sigils on the sleeve on one sleeve and then Sunbearer on the other, and then like do it in black, like kind of death metal style.
Hmm. See a
But
lot of that right now. Like
I
a lot of
love death metal merch. They have the coolest merch.
they do have some cool fucking merch. Um, the one thing like I buy the long sleeve tees, but I buy it and I never fucking wear it.
Yeah.
I don't like how they fit me.
I get that from a lot of people. I kind of like don't even care. I'm just like it's long sleeve and it looks cool. Like I don't know, but yeah, John John always brings up that point. He was like, "Dude, I don't like it when they like like get all floppy. The sleeves get floppy or they're too short or whatever." And I'm like,
Yeah.
looks cool to me,
Yeah,
but
it like I feel the same way as John. Like it's the sleeves are either too long or too short, and I'm like
yeah,
I fucking don't like it. So I'm like
yeah.
I'll wear a t-shirt and then a hoodie or whatever.
Well, maybe I'll do 3 runs of 30 in different styles. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, man.
Um, do you guys have any like long runs or longer runs coming up?
We're trying. We've talked about putting something together towards the end of the year. And I'm currently trying to book something and make that happen. I haven't gotten any bites yet, but also I think at the same time that's just like not where anybody's head is at yet. Because it's summertime, people are already on runs. They're either their fall runs are already booked or they haven't even thought about it. They don't want to think about it yet. Like they
Yeah.
just haven't gotten around to it. I'm sure we'll end up doing something for sure. Um, um, but um, it just haven't locked it down yet. I've got a lot of connects in Atlanta, so I've been talking to some people down there, but nothing's really stuck yet. They don't
Okay.
really doom the way a lot of the Southeast does. I mean, like there's doom bands there, but not the way that there is like in North Carolina and stuff.
Right.
But my buddy's band, Empty Black, what? They're sick. Or Drifter, they're also sick.
Okay.
But that seems pretty small.
Yeah, it's like 5 bands and they all play the
Yeah, it's
same.
like five. Order the Owl, Hot Rams there. Um, so, but yeah, man, I'm trying for sure.
Well, love to get you guys back into Kentucky.
Oh my God, we loved Kentucky. You know what's funny? Something that like we didn't think about. So, we're hanging out at Isles. I order some chicken strips. John orders some chicken strips. We get chicken strips. We eat them. We're like, oh my God, these things are unreal chicken strips. And then we were both like, oh yeah, we're in Kentucky. That's kind of like what y'all do.
Yeah.
So I think the food alone is enough to get us back. But we had a blast, man. I loved it and loved y'all's scene. And I don't know how many of those bands were Kentucky bands, but I,
Well, I
yeah,
I think a large part of them were. There were
were they?
obviously a few that weren't like you guys. Fairy Rings out of Indiana.
Yeah,
Um, like they're from Louisville.
we played a show with them the night before.
Yeah,
Um,
Blind Scryer, another
okay,
Louisville band.
okay,
Um, I think a lot of those bands were Kentucky bands, and then Howling Giant out of Nashville, and
yeah, that was but yes, we want to come back. We had a blast. That was like one of the more fun shows we played for sure. That was
yeah,
awesome,
that was a lot of fun. I think everyone was really impressed with how well it turned out. And like again, shout out to Braun for putting
dude.
that together, dude. He worked his dick off to make that happen.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. No, that was cool, man. But
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
we'll come back soon for sure. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Well,
Hell yeah, man.
Jordan, I can't wait to hear the EP when you guys get to work and get it done.
Cheers, man.
So,
Well, I can't wait to put it out. It was really good talking to you. I
you
had a
too,
lot of
dude.
fun. Anyways, hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
Tell your
appreciate you
friends.
for
Sunbearer's
sure.
got shit coming at you, bro.
For
All
sure,
right.
dude. Have a
All
great
right.
night.
Peace, man. See
See
ya.
ya.